Okay, you're told this is a root of this over here, and you should realize by now if this is a root, the other root would be its conjugate, which would be x1 plus I. All right, so given that information over there, basically you know that these are the factors of that polynomial. They want you to multiply it out, and if you were to multiply this out, what are you going to get? You're going to get x squared minus x minus xi. Then you're going to get what? Well, distribute the minus 1 across now. You get minus x plus 1, plus I. And now you're going to distribute the I across. You're going to get plus xi minus I squared. Combine it all together. What do you get? X squared minus 2x. The xi's disappear. And minus I squared is going to be plus 1, so you get plus 2. All right, and the i's disappear. So we got that done. Next up is the long division. And doing that long division, what do you get over here? You got x squared minus 2x plus 2. And we're going to divide that into x4 minus 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 10x minus 10. Well, let's see, x squared. You're going to get there x4 minus 2x cubed plus 2x squared. What do you get there? Minus 5x squared plus 10x minus 10. By the way, we're expecting a 0 remainder. What do we get now? Minus 5. What does that give you? Minus 5x squared. Let's see, plus 10x minus 10, and as we expected, 0 remainder. That's the long division. They want to factor the polynomial into 4 linear factors. We already know 2 of the factors. What are those 2 factors? Just to remind you, x minus 1 plus I. The other factor is x, and just to remind you, it's right over here, minus 1 minus I. And the other factor is x squared minus 5, which is a linear factor, would be x plus root 5, x minus root 5. That's a factorization now. List all the roots, pretty easy to do. X equals, these are going to be the roots now. It would be 1 minus I. Another root would be 1 plus I. Another root would be root 5. Another root would be minus root 5. These are the 4 roots. All right, let's go to the next page. Then we're going to solve the inequality. Let's write this down. So it's going to be x plus 6, x plus 1, minus 2, less than or equal to 0. Common denominator would be x plus 1. And what do you get there? X plus 6, minus 2x, minus 2. Let's keep going. What do you get over here? Let's see, 4, because 6 minus 2 is 4, and x minus 2x is minus x, over x plus 1. Number line goes down. On the number line, you would get minus 1, and you would get the number 4. The 4 gets shaded in, but the minus 1 wouldn't. Test some values out. For example, after 4 you took 5, it would clearly be negative. Goes in that direction over there. Again, 5 plugged in would make it negative. A number between minus 1 and 4 like 0, to plug it in, what do you get? Positive number. That's not going to work out. Take a number like minus 2, plug it in. What do you get? Negative number. So my inequality solution to that as an interval will be minus infinity up to minus 1, not touching, union 4, touching to infinity. All right. This one, number 13, they want you to find what g of 2 is with the understanding that g is an inverse of f. Well, there's a variety of ways to do this, including finding the inverse. But right now, what do I know? Let me just write down y equals the root of 2x plus 4. And basically what they're doing over here, I want to point out, it's an ordered pair of numbers, which would be 2, there'd be some number over here. All right. Now, what does that mean over here? That this is 2, and it equals this over here. Can I solve that without going for the inverse? Yes, you can. What do you get over there? 4 would equal 2x plus 4. So x would clearly have to be 0. All right, let's go to the next one. Solve an inequality. It's x cubed minus x squared less than 0. Factor out x squared. You get x minus 1 less than 0. Number line goes down. Put the number 1 down and the number 0 down. 0, 1. Neither number gets shaded in, but we need to test it out. A number after 1 like 2 would make it positive, and that's not less than 0. A number between 0 and like a half, plug it in. That would turn out to be negative. I'll shade that in. And then a number below 0, like, -1, plug it in. It would also be negative. I'll shade that in for you. What does this give you? Minus infinity up to 0, not touching, union 0 up to 1, not touching. All right, let's keep going. For what values of x is this polynomial negative? We'll just write it down. X squared minus 6x plus 9. When is it less than 0? Factor it. It factors to x minus 3 squared less than 0. Number line goes down, the number 3 goes on it. And the fact of the matter is, no matter what numbers you choose there, it's always positive, and at 3 it's 0. So there are no real numbers. So E is the correct answer over there. All right, analyze this for symmetry. Let's talk about that. We're going to do, I guess, even, or what's known as y-axis. We're going to do odd, or what's known as origin. And we're going to do x-axis. How do you do even symmetry? Well, you're going to replace x by minus x, and if you did that, what do you get? 2y equals minus x cubed. It's certainly not the same thing. Cross it off. Let's do odd symmetry. You're going to replace y by minus y and x by minus x. What do you get? Minus 2y equals minus x cubed. And 2y is equal to x cubed by multiplying both sides by minus 1. Clearly, it's the same thing. It's odd. X-axis symmetry. What are you going to do? Replace y by minus y. You get 2y equals x cubed. It's not the same thing. So it's just odd symmetry. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. This one over here, it says, given this thing is the root of that, factor the polynomial and list all the roots. Well, certainly one of the roots is going to be root 2, and I'm going to say the other root would be minus root 2. All right? Now, if you multiply that together, what's going to be x plus root 2, x minus root 2. Right? Now, what you could do is multiply that. You get x squared minus 2. If you want to do the long division, you can. Not necessary, but you can do it. That's x squared minus 2. I'm going to divide it into x cubed. Let's see, minus 3x squared. Minus 2x plus 6. That's a cube, by the way. So I would multiply by x. What do you get there? X cubed minus 2x. Subtract. You get minus 3x squared plus 6. And you get minus 3 over here. So you're going to get minus 3x squared plus 6. And that equals 0. So the factorization of f of x, and again, this is f of x over here, is going to be x minus 3, x plus root 2, x minus root 2. And the roots are going to be 3, root 2, and minus root 2. Which polynomial fits that description? This one over here. All right? X minus 3, x plus root 2, x minus root 2. And the following roots would be minus root 2, root 2, and 3. All right, let's go to 18. 18, the domain of it. I'm looking at it. There is an even root there. So I know the radicand 4 minus x squared must be greater than or equal to 0. Relatively simple to do. Number line goes down. On the number line 2 and minus 2. And let's take a look. I could shade them in. That's not a problem. And let's take a look at that. Pick a number between minus 2 and 2 like 0. Plug it in. Certainly positive. Take a number after 2 like 3 and make it negative. Take a number below minus 2 like minus 3 and make it negative. So we have our interval now. By the way, the bottom is never 0. Not going to worry about that because it's 1 plus some positive number. Or I should say a non-negative number. So the interval, the domain of this thing is going to be minus 2 to 2. All right, let's keep moving along. And this is number 19. Number 19 says, find f of g. Let's write this down. F of g of x. That means f of g of x. And that's going to be f of, what's g? G is 2x minus 1. What does f do to it? It cubes it. If you want, you can expand that, but it's not needed. All right, what's the domain of this guy over here? Well, the input-output in both of these problems is going to be all the real numbers. That's the input and the output. So it's domain and range of both of these guys over here. So domain and the range. Domain and the range. So what's this over here? Minus infinity to infinity. Right? That's the domain of it. Domain. Let's do the next one. G of f. of x, and that's going to be g of f of x. What's f of x? Again, you're not trying to memorize, you're trying to read. That's just x cubed. Whoops, my eraser. It's x cubed. And what are you doing? That 2x minus 1. So it's twice its argument, minus 1. And what's its domain? Its domain is minus infinity to infinity. And we're done. Thank you.